After an investigation reportedly uncovered a drug used for euthanizing animals inside various brands of dog food, a recall has been issued. The J.M. Smucker Company recalled a number of their Gravy Train, Kibbles and Bits, and Skippy wet dog food products.
When it comes to feeding your dog, not all pet foods are created equal. In fact, many of the most popular dog food brands on the shelves today are loaded with cheap fillers, low-quality meat byproducts, artificial colors, preservatives, and ingredients that can seriously harm your dog's long-term health. From kibble sprayed with artificial flavoring to canned food linked to recalls for contamination, the pet food industry can be a dangerous place if you don't know what to look for. And because dogs can't speak for themselves, it becomes our responsibility to know what's really inside their bowl. So in today's video, we're breaking down the dog food brands you must avoid at all costs, and the ones that are actually safe. If you love your dog like family, then this is one list you do not want to skip. 1. Kibbles and Bits. Kibbles and Bits is one of the most recognizable dog food brands in America, but it's also one of the worst options you could feed your dog. While the name sounds fun and playful, the actual ingredients tell a completely different story. One filled with cheap fillers, low-quality proteins, artificial additives, and a nutrient profile that does very little to support your dog's long-term health. The biggest red flag with Kibbles and Bits is the protein source. Instead of using real cuts of meat, it relies heavily on meat byproducts and animal digest, which is a highly processed flavoring made from unspecified animal parts. This not only reduces the nutritional value, but also makes the food harder for dogs to digest. Another major issue is the use of corn, wheat, and soy as the main ingredients. These are extremely inexpensive fillers that help bulk up the kibble but offer almost no real nutritional benefit. Many dogs also react poorly to these fillers, experiencing digestive problems, itchy skin, and allergic reactions over time. To make things worse, Kibbles and Bits includes artificial colors, unnecessary dyes that are added purely for marketing appeal. Dogs don't care what color their food is, but their bodies certainly feel the impact of synthetic coloring. The formula also contains artificial flavors and preservatives, including BHA and BHT, which have been linked to long-term health concerns in multiple studies. These preservatives help extend shelf life, but are the last things you want in something your dog eats every day. Overall, Kibbles and Bits is a food designed for cost efficiency, not canine health. It may be affordable up front, but the potential vet bills later can be far more expensive. This is one brand that should be removed from your dog's bowl immediately. 2. Ol' Roy, Walmart brand. Ol' Roy is Walmart's in-house dog food brand and one of the best-selling pet foods in the United States due to its low price. But its ingredients reveal exactly why it's so cheap. The biggest concern with Ol' Roy is the extremely poor quality of its protein sources. Instead of using whole meats, it relies heavily on meat byproducts and bone meal, both of which are low-grade protein forms produced from leftover scraps not deemed suitable for human consumption. These ingredients may technically meet AAFCO standards, but nutritionally, they fall far below what a dog truly needs to thrive. Another alarming component of Ol' Roy is the heavy use of fillers like corn, wheat, and soybean meal. These ingredients are not only low in essential nutrients, but also common triggers for food sensitivities in dogs. Many pet owners report excessive itching, hot spots, and digestive issues in dogs consuming Ol' Roy over long periods. The food is also known for including artificial colors, again added purely for human marketing appeal, not for a dog's nutritional benefit. Preservatives are another major problem. Some Ol' Roy formulas have contained BHA, a synthetic preservative linked to potential carcinogenic effects in animals. Combined with artificial flavors, rendered fats, and cheap grains, the formula becomes a nutritional minefield. Over the years, Ol' Roy has also faced multiple recalls, including concerns over contamination and vitamin deficiencies, which further erodes trust in the brand. The overall nutrient profile of Ol' Roy tends to be far below optimal standards. It may keep a dog alive, but it does not support strong muscles, a healthy coat, good digestion, or long-term wellness. The low price may make it attractive, but the health trade-offs are significant. When a brand prioritizes cost over quality at every step, it becomes clear that it is not a safe choice for a beloved pet. If this is currently in your pantry, it's time to replace it with something truly nourishing. 3. Gravy Train. Gravy Train is one of those dog food brands that markets itself as comforting, warm, and satisfying. The kind of meal that seems like it would make your dog feel happy and loved. But behind the heartwarming commercials and bright packaging lies a formulation that is anything but wholesome. Gravy Train has been heavily criticized for its low-quality ingredients, excessive use of chemicals, and multiple safety concerns over the years. For many pet owners, it's a brand that should raise immediate red flags. One of the biggest issues with Gravy Train is the use of artificial meat flavors and rendered animal byproducts as the main protein sources. Instead of offering real cuts of chicken or beef, The formula often contains animal digest, which is a highly processed substance made from unspecified animal remains. Not only is this type of ingredient nutritionally inferior, but it also makes it nearly impossible for pet owners to know the original source of the protein, a major concern for dogs with allergies or sensitivities. Gravy Train is also notorious for high-carb fillers, especially cornmeal, soy, and wheat middlings. These cheap grains bulk up the food while providing minimal nutritional value. Dogs may seem full after eating, but what they're really consuming is a bowl full of carbohydrates and little actual nutrition. Over time, this can lead to weight gain, low energy, itchy skin, digestive upset, and a weakened immune system. Artificial colors and preservatives are also prevalent in the Gravy Train recipe. While the dyes make the kibble look more appealing to humans, they serve no purpose for dogs and may contribute to long-term health issues. Even more concerning is the brand's history of recalls. There was a widely publicized incident involving pentobarbital, a euthanasia drug, found in certain cans of dog food produced under the same parent company. Even though the contamination was linked to manufacturing processes, the association alone raises major concerns about ingredient sourcing and quality control. Overall, Gravy Train is a perfect example of a brand that prioritizes low cost and market appeal over nutrition and safety. The mix of byproducts, artificial additives, and questionable manufacturing oversight makes it one of the most problematic dog foods on the market. If your dog's health is a priority, this is one brand that should be taken off the menu permanently. 4. Pedigree, Adult Complete Nutrition. Pedigree is one of the most recognized dog food brands worldwide. With bright yellow bags and decades of marketing, it has convinced many owners that it's a wholesome, balanced diet. But the truth behind Pedigree Adult Complete Nutrition is far less impressive. While it's marketed as complete nourishment for adult dogs, a closer look at the ingredient list reveals a formula based on fillers, artificial additives, and extremely low-cost protein sources that offer far less nutrition than most owners believe. The number one ingredient in many Pedigree formulas is corn, not real meat. Corn is a cheap filler used to bulk up the kibble and provide calories, but it doesn't deliver the amino acid profile dogs need to maintain muscle mass, healthy coats, or strong immune systems. Following the corn, the protein source often comes in the form of chicken byproduct meal, which includes organ tissues, necks, feet, and other leftover parts not used in human food production. While technically usable, these ingredients are far lower in quality than real meat and are harder for some dogs to digest. Pedigree also relies heavily on artificial additives. Artificial colors, artificial flavors, and preservatives are all present in the formula, none of which offer any nutritional value. These additives can contribute to inflammation, skin issues, digestive problems, and general discomfort in sensitive pets. The use of dyes is especially problematic, as they are added solely to make the kibble look appealing to humans, not because dogs need colorful food. Even the fat sources in Pedigree raise concerns. Instead of healthy fats like salmon oil or chicken fat, the brand often uses animal fat preserved with BHA, a synthetic antioxidant with questionable long-term safety. Over time, these low-quality fats can contribute to poor skin and coat health, as well as inflammation and immune stress. Another issue is Pedigree's history with tartar control claims. Many dog owners rely on Pedigree because they believe the kibble helps clean their dog's teeth, but these claims have been widely disputed. Nutritionists consistently point out that a species-appropriate diet, not hard kibble, is the real key to dental health. Pedigree may seem affordable and convenient, but the quality trade-offs are significant. With low-grade ingredients, a heavy reliance on fillers, and artificial additives throughout the formula, it's not a food that supports optimal canine health. If you want your dog to have energy, a shiny coat, and long-term wellness, Pedigree Adult Complete Nutrition is a brand that should be avoided. 5. Beneful Originals. Beneful Originals is one of the most aggressively marketed dog food brands, promoted as colorful, nutritious, and filled with wholesome ingredients. But behind the cheerful packaging and commercials lies a formula that has raised concerns from veterinarians, nutritionists, and countless dog owners over the years. Beneful is a classic example of a dog food that looks appealing to humans, but fails to deliver genuine nutritional value to dogs. The first major issue is the presence of artificial colors. Those bright red, yellow, and green pieces that make Beneful kibble stand out are not natural. They are created using synthetic dyes that offer no benefit to dogs. Since dogs don't care about the color of their food, these dyes exist solely for marketing, and many of them have been linked to sensitivity reactions and long-term health risks. They also add unnecessary chemical load to a dog's daily diet. Then there's the matter of protein quality. Beneful often uses chicken byproduct meal or beef byproduct meal rather than real, whole proteins. These byproducts can include organ tissues, bones, necks, and other scraps left after processing meat for human consumption. While technically safe, they are significantly lower in quality and digestibility. Many dogs struggle to obtain the amino acids they need from these byproducts, leading to poor muscle tone, weaker immunity, and lackluster overall health. At the same time, Beneful uses a heavy amount of fillers such as corn gluten meal, wheat, and soy, all cheap carbohydrates that bulk up the food but offer minimal real nutrition. Dogs may feel full, but that fullness comes from empty calories rather than high-quality protein and fats. These fillers are also among the most common triggers for allergies in dogs, often leading to chronic itching, digestive issues, ear infections, and skin flare-ups. Beneful has also been criticized for its use of questionable preservatives, including BHA in some formulas, which is a synthetic antioxidant linked to potential carcinogenic effects. This adds yet another concern to an already problematic ingredient list. Over the years, Beneful has faced numerous complaints and controversies, with many owners reporting sudden sickness, skin issues, itching, and vomiting in pets consuming this food long-term. While not every claim has resulted in official recalls, the volume of issues speaks for itself. With its artificial additives, low-grade proteins, and heavy reliance on fillers, Beneful Originals is far from the healthy and wholesome option it appears to be. For dogs to thrive, they need real nutrition, not artificial colors and cheap ingredients dressed up with clever marketing. 6. Purina Dog Chow. Purina Dog Chow is one of the oldest and most widely sold dog foods in the United States. Its affordability and availability in nearly every grocery store make it a go-to option for many dog owners. But when you look at the ingredient list and nutritional quality, it becomes clear that Dog Chow is far from the ideal choice for a healthy, long life. Right away, one of the biggest concerns is that Dog Chow uses corn as its first ingredient. Corn is a very cheap filler used to add calories without providing meaningful nutrition. Dogs may survive on it, but they don't thrive on it. A diet that places processed corn above real meat fails to support strong muscles, proper digestion, or stable energy levels. The second problem is the protein source. Dog Chow often uses chicken byproduct meal instead of whole chicken. Byproducts include leftover scraps such as organs, bone fragments, and tissues that are inferior in quality and digestibility. The formula also relies heavily on artificial flavors and coloring agents. Again, dogs do not benefit from artificially colored kibble. These dyes are added purely to appeal to human shoppers, but these additives may contribute to behavioral issues, sensitivities, and inflammation in some pets. Artificial flavoring masks the fact that the underlying ingredients are low quality, making the food more palatable while offering little nutritional benefit. Preservatives are another red flag. Like other low-cost commercial foods, Dog Chow often contains synthetic preservatives to extend shelf life, including BHA or BHT in some versions, compounds that have long been questioned for their long-term safety. A dog eating these every single day may slowly accumulate more risk than an owner realizes. Dog Chow is also known for causing digestive issues in many pets. The heavy load of carbs and fillers can lead to gas, loose stools, bloating, and inconsistent digestion. Dogs with sensitive stomachs often react poorly to the recipe. The lack of high-quality fats also contributes to dull coats, dry skin, and increased shedding. Purina has a good reputation for some of its higher-end lines, but Dog Chow is at the bottom of the list. It is designed for affordability, not optimal health. While it may seem like a cheap and convenient option, the long-term nutritional disadvantages far outweigh the short-term savings. Dogs deserve better than low-quality fillers, artificial additives, and questionable protein sources. For that reason, Purina Dog Chow is a brand best avoided. 7. Alpo Prime Cuts. Alpo Prime Cuts is a brand with a long history, but unfortunately, it's also a brand that consistently fails to meet modern nutritional expectations. Widely sold in grocery stores, Alpo markets itself as a hearty, meat-filled dog food that dogs love. But a closer look at the ingredient list reveals a much darker reality. Instead of being a meat-rich diet, Prime Cuts is loaded with cheap fillers, processed flavorings, and questionable protein sources that offer very little real nourishment. The biggest issue is the protein quality. Alpo Prime Cuts relies heavily on meat and bone meal as a primary protein source. This ingredient is controversial because it can be sourced from multiple types of animals and is processed at extremely high temperatures, stripping away much of the natural nutrition. Dogs may enjoy the taste, but they're not getting the amino acids or muscle-building nutrients they need for long-term health. For dogs with sensitivities or allergies, these unknown protein sources can also trigger reactions ranging from itching and hot spots to digestive discomfort. Another major problem is the amount of corn and soy in the formula. These are among the most common fillers found in low-quality dog foods, and they appear high on the ingredient list for Alpo Prime Cuts. While these ingredients help keep manufacturing costs low, they provide minimal benefit to dogs and can lead to bloating, gas, weight gain, and sluggishness. For dogs with sensitive stomachs, the high carbohydrate content can cause chronic digestive upset. Alpo Prime Cuts also contains artificial coloring and artificial flavors, both of which are completely unnecessary. Manufacturers add these chemicals to make the kibble look and smell appealing to humans, but these additives do nothing for canine health. In fact, some artificial colors have been linked to behavioral issues and allergic reactions in dogs. Meanwhile, artificial flavors are often used to disguise low-quality ingredients rather than enhance real nutrition. Perhaps one of the most worrying aspects of Alpo is its history of consumer complaints and past recalls. While not every Alpo product has been recalled, the brand has faced numerous issues over the decades related to contamination, nutrient imbalances, and inadequate quality control. This inconsistency makes it difficult for dog owners to trust what's actually inside the bag. Overall, Alpo Prime Cuts may appear hearty and flavorful, but it's a product designed for shelf appeal, not for a dog's health. The combination of low-grade protein, heavy fillers, artificial additives, and questionable quality standards makes this a food that should be completely avoided. Dogs need real, nutrient-dense ingredients to thrive, something this brand simply does not offer. Now that we've taken a look at some of the worst canned meat options on the shelves, it's time to shift gears. Not every canned meat product is harmful, and there are a few brands that genuinely prioritize purity, quality, and safety. Let's explore the healthier options that you can trust to nourish your dog instead of risking their well-being. Healthy Alternative 1. Wild Planet Organic Roasted Chicken Breast. Wild Planet Organic Roasted Chicken Breast stands out as one of the safest, cleanest, and most trustworthy canned meat options you can choose. Unlike many mass-market canned meats that rely on cheap fillers, preservatives, and questionable additives, Wild Planet does the exact opposite. They keep it simple, clean, and genuinely nutritious. Their formula uses only 2 ingredients: organic chicken breast and a small amount of sea salt. That's it. No gums, no artificial flavors, no textured proteins, no questionable oils, and definitely no preservatives. This level of transparency is extremely rare in the canned meat industry and is one of the key reasons this brand is considered one of the best options available. The quality of the chicken itself is another major factor. Wild Planet sources its poultry from farms that follow organic, humane, and ethical farming standards. This means no antibiotics, no added hormones, and no genetically modified feed. Dogs benefit greatly from proteins that come from cleaner, less industrialized sources because they contain higher nutritional value, better amino acid profiles, and fewer contaminants. When dogs consume meats free from chemical residues, their bodies operate more efficiently, resulting in better energy levels, improved muscle tone, and fewer allergic reactions. Another major advantage is digestibility. Overall, Wild Planet Organic Roasted Chicken Breast offers everything low-quality canned meats lack: purity, transparency, safety, and genuine nutritional value. When you want canned meat that won't compromise your dog's health, this is one of the best options available. Healthy Alternative 2. Merrick Grain-Free Turducken. Wet Food. Merrick Grain-Free Turducken. Wet food is one of the highest quality, nutrient-dense, and safe wet food options on the market, offering a premium blend of proteins and whole food ingredients that support long-term canine health. Unlike the unhealthy canned meats filled with byproducts, rendered fats, artificial preservatives, and filler grains, Merrick's Turducken formula uses real, identifiable ingredients you can see and trust. The primary proteins come from deboned turkey, duck, and chicken, all high-quality meats that deliver a complete amino acid profile essential for muscle maintenance, energy, immune strength, and overall vitality. This formula is grain-free, which makes it especially beneficial for dogs with food sensitivities, gluten issues, or chronic digestive problems. Instead of relying on low-value carbohydrates like corn, wheat, or soy, Merrick uses wholesome vegetables such as peas, sweet potatoes, and carrots. These ingredients provide natural fiber for digestion. There are no artificial preservatives like BHA or BHT, no artificial colors, and no cheap rendered fats. Instead, the food is preserved naturally, giving dogs a clean and wholesome meal without exposing them to unnecessary chemicals. A huge advantage of this formula is its balanced blend of omega-3 and omega-6 fatty acids from natural sources like flaxseed and quality meats. These fats contribute to brain function, heart health, joint mobility, and a shiny coat. Dogs with skin allergies, joint discomfort, or inflammatory conditions often see noticeable improvements when switching to higher quality wet foods with natural omega content. In terms of palatability, Merrick turducken is unmatched. The combination of turkey, duck, chicken, and savory broth is extremely appealing to dogs, making it perfect for picky eaters. For owners trying to transition away from lower quality canned meats or trying to entice their dog to eat more nutritious foods, this formula works exceptionally well. Overall, Merrick grain-free turducken wet food provides everything unhealthy canned meats do not: high-quality proteins, premium vegetables, safe ingredients, balanced fats, and consistent quality. Low-quality canned meats can fill their bowl, but high-quality canned meats fuel their body. Now that you know which brands to avoid and which options truly support your dog's well-being, you're in a much stronger position to make choices that keep them healthy, energetic, and thriving for years to come. Small changes in your pet's diet can lead to major improvements in digestion, coat shine, energy, and overall happiness. If you found this guide helpful, make sure to subscribe for more pet care breakdowns, ingredient deep dives, and honest product warnings that help you protect the ones you love most. Your dog depends on you, and we're here to make that job easier.